Transition Tuesday. I'm Jane. This is Joe. We're continuing with our Plan 2024 challenge, which is about all of us working together to create best life plans for Joe, for individuals in your life who have a disability, and for you as the caregiver and the support person. So plan might sound like a scary word, especially if the whole idea of transition planning, right? The whole idea of transition planning is, slightly terrifying and overwhelming, which it totally can be. But we wanted to do a series to help you look at plan in a different way. So PLAN is actually an acronym for prioritize, learn, assess, and navigate. So we've broken things down into 4 parts, which you can do a little piece at a time. So last week we talked about prioritize. Today we're talking about learn. So you say, Jane, Joe, learn what? Well, think about what your priorities are. Maybe last week you sat down and did your priority list. Maybe you didn't. Maybe this is the first time you're watching us. If it is, I suggest that you take things in little pieces. So let's say that you had a fitness goal for the month of January, and you decided that you were going to start working out 3 times a week. So your priority would be to work out 3 times a week. And then the next thing would be to learn. How am I going to, what exercises am I going to do? Where am I going to exercise? When am I going to exercise? How much is it going to cost me to join a gym or get a personal trainer, or, learning about what kinds of workouts are available to you, right? What kind of workouts will work for you? That's the learning part. You have to dream and prioritize first and then learn. So when you're talking about disability-related supports and services, which you can see that Joe is very excited about right now, there's a few main areas that I can save you some Google time. One is in Georgia, the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities, DBHDD. That is sort of the clearinghouse for all services for adults and children, but mainly we're talking about adults with developmental disabilities or behavioral health challenges, which require adult services. That's the agency in Georgia that does that. Now, if you're watching this from another state, you will have to Google who provides services for individuals with developmental disabilities, and you'll find out who your agency is. In Georgia, there are parent organizations to assist families who are either still in school or aging out of school or have already aged out of school. Parent to Parent of Georgia, P2P, GA, or the Georgia Parent Mentor Partnership, GAPMP. The Parent Mentor Partnership is an organization that I've been a part of in my local school district for many years. And I provide services mainly for families who have a child in school. Parent to Parent of Georgia, who I also volunteer with, serves people, in school or outside of school. But those are 2 agencies who have parents who can talk you through some of your transition questions, your quality of life questions, your how do I questions. Once, let's say, let's go back to, let's say you want to exercise 3 times a week, and your child is no longer in school, and now your child is an adult with developmental disabilities, and this adult really would benefit from physical exercise. So how would you accomplish that in your community? Well, you could talk to another parent to Parent of Georgia, Georgia Parent Mentor Partnership. Hey, do you know about any recreation programs or gyms who serve people with disabilities, or recreation sports programs, or bowling teams, or Special Olympics? The master's program is for people who are no longer in school. The Pacer Center. There are several organizations who help adults and families who are guiding someone on their transition planning. I like the Pacer Center. It's one that I go to a lot, but there are others, and you find those through, your old pal search engine, Google, and things like that. So learning, I think if you set aside like 10 minutes every day during a particular week, you can find out a lot of things. So the first week of January, you've spent prioritizing or whatever. You don't have to start this in January. It just seemed like a logical time for us to start this. But let's say week 1, you take some time every day to talk about what you'd like to see. The person that you're helping to plan for can identify what their goals and dreams are, and then you do. And then the next week, and by the way, chart this, write something down on the calendar today or in a journal. Write it down. I promise you that if you write it down and you look back at the end of the month, you can see all the things you've accomplished, and it takes some of the overwhelm out of this process. Trust me, we've been there. We are there. Even though we have a plan for Joe's transition after school, we're still modifying and changing things because life happens. Things change. So the more you practice these skills, the better it is for everybody. So we're speaking from experience, y'all. So week 1, prioritize, goal, set, dream. Week 2, find out about the things that you dream about. Do you want to take a vacation? Well, let's see if we can find a travel agent who can help us with finding out about wheelchair accessible hotels and places, boats or trips that are, geared for people who have, certain kinds of needs. Parks that offer specialized wheelchairs and beaches, and there's all kinds of things out there, but learning about them takes a little bit of time and dedication. So we've got week 1, prioritize, week 2, learn. Next week, we are going to talk about assessing the things that you've prioritized and learned and maybe put in practice. We're looking forward to talking about it. We'll see you next week. If you have any questions, just email us at transition2s@gmail.com, and we'll see you next time.